Okay, let's start with the head. We're going to draw a circle bigger than the eraser on the end of your pencil. Then we'll go for an oval below the circle. Joins up with the circle. That will be the thorax. And then a narrower, longer oval will be the abdomen of your monarch butterfly. So we've got the three parts, the head, the thorax, and the abdomen. Now we're going to add the wings. I'm going to make a long arc, a slight curve downwards, not quite as long as a pencil coming out. And we're going to do the same exact thing on the other side. We'll bring it out slightly curved. Now you have a symmetrical form. It's equal on both sides. We're going to make another line for the wing. It's going to come out of the same spot. We're going to go halfway between the abdomen and the other wing line. We're going to do the same thing on the other side. Again, we're trying for some symmetry. I think I've got this line not quite in the middle. I'm going to erase. Try again. That's a little bit more in the middle. There we go. So we've got those lines for the wings. Now this next line is a little bit tricky. We're going to make something, I think of it as a little bit more like an S, and then we're going to finish off that S. So instead of having the wing pointed, we're going to curve, make it kind of like an S. You can see the pencil kind of making an S. And then instead of leaving it out, we're going to curve it back to the midline there. So we're going to do the same thing. This time it's more like a 3. We bring it out, we come back, and then back to the line. All right, and then this bottom line of the wing is just going to be a curved line that meets back up with the abdomen. There we go. Very good. All right, ready for the next step. Taking a look at a real monarch butterfly, you can see that the wings are edged in black, kind of a ribbon of black, so we're going to be adding that. And so we're going to follow the contours of the edge of the wing and make that place along the edge of the monarch's wing where it will be mostly black. So all we're doing is making a line that follows the contour across. Now, to make some of the black veins that we see in a monarch's wing, we're going to make a few more lines. Now this won't look exactly like a monarch, but I think that when we're done, it will have a nice look to it. So right in between those top two lines, I'm going to make another curved line that matches the others, and I'm going to do the same on the other side. We still have a symmetrical shape here. And now in between the other two lines, I'm going to go ahead and add 2 more. So one on the top, 2 lines to add in the bottom section. So now we have all of the vertical lines. And let's make some circles. Make a bunch of different size circles. We'd like to try to keep them kind of random in size and in location. These circles will end up being white spots. Now, it kind of looks a little like a pattern there. I think I'm going to change that to make it look a little more random. And keep the circles a little bigger because when we color this in, you'll only see the white spots. So we're going to make some circles all the way across the ribbon area. And there's some white spots on the head and on the thorax too. So we'll need some spots there. And then we'll have to add the antennas. And let's see if I can pull this down here. This one's a little bit off. I think I'm going to have to erase and fix that. If you're drawing super lightly in pencil, when you erase it, you can't see that you've had some pencil. Now, we've got the white spots on there. And we're getting pretty close, almost ready to get our markers out. But now we need some lines in different directions. So we're going to take this section here. I'm going to put 3 lines across there, kind of diagonally, and I'm going to do the exact same thing to the other side. 3 lines that come across there, kind of change the direction of some of those black lines. All right, now I think I am ready for my Sharpie. So I'm going to get out my Sharpie and I'm going to trace over all of the lines that I've made in pencil. Okay, I'm going to speed things up a little bit. You are going to trace over all of the lines that you made with your Sharpie or your black marker, and you're going to circle all the little circles you made on the edge of the wing, and then color in the spaces in between. And it's okay if you accidentally leave a couple of little white specks in between your circles, because that's the way a butterfly looks. Then I'm going to color in the head, abdomen, and thorax. Very nice. And we're ready for our next step. And seeing the butterfly again, we can see that some of the shapes on the wing are more oval and have curved edges. So let's try that a little bit with our butterfly. So each time we find a spot where the lines come together, we're going to kind of fill those in a little bit and make it a more oval ending instead of a square corner. We're going to try to turn those into a little bit more oval. So any place here where 2 lines come together or a line ends, we're going to try to fill in those corners a little bit, make it more like an oval around the edges. So we've got quite a few spaces in here. I think we'll speed up a little bit. And you just kind of find spaces to fill in. Now, the last thing you're going to need to do for this step is to get out your eraser and erase all of the pencil lines that you can see. All right, these are the 2 butterflies we've looked at on this project. There is a difference between the 2. There's some subtle differences, but there's also a major difference. One is a male monarch and the other is a female monarch. Do you see any markings that are different between these 2? Did you spot those 2 dark patches on the back of the wing? That tells us that that is a male monarch. So I'm going to go ahead and make my monarch a male monarch before I get ready to do my next step. Okay, looking pretty good so far. Now I'm going to get out my watercolors, and I'm going to start with my lightest color. I'm going to use yellow, and I'm going to use yellow right next to the body. Now I don't have to be super careful about being in the lines while I'm inside of the butterfly's wings, but I do have to be super careful when I'm on the edge of the wing because I don't want any extra paint to go on outside of the wings. So I'm going to start with yellow right next to the body, and then I'm going to go to orange. And I want the colors when I use watercolors, I want them to blend into each other. I don't want to make them just regular paints. I want them watercolors. So I'm going to have little bits of yellow mixing with the orange, and I want to be able to see yellow and orange and the 2 colors mixed together. So I'm pulling in a little bit of that yellow into the orange, and I'm leaving a little orange in that yellow. And I want that yellow all next to the body. Next to the body, lots of yellow, and then orange coming out there. And I don't have to worry about staying in the lines. Keep those white speckles that are on the edge of the butterfly. Keep them white. Don't paint those in. We're just going to leave those the color of the paper. So I'm blending color, making sure that I can still see yellow, I can still see the orange, but there's that space where the 2 kind of mix together. Add a little more yellow here so that I can just kind of pull it into the orange. And this isn't supposed to look exactly scientifically like a monarch, but we're using the colors and some of the shapes that are in a monarch. And we've got the orange going out. It gets a little bit darker as we get out to the edge of the wing. And we don't want to have there a real straight line in between the colors. So I'm going to try to mix these in a little bit. And then right on the outside edge, I'm going to add a little bit of red. So I've got a couple of dots of red there, but I'm going to blend it in a little bit. So it goes from yellow to orange to red. And I don't want there to be like a really good straight line there. I want it to kind of mix in, use the water that's on there in the watercolors to kind of blend those colors together. I'm going to try to find out if there's any pieces of white that I missed. I'm going to try to get those colored on. I'm going to be very careful with the stroke of my brush, and I'm going to make sure that I don't have too much water on there. Too much water might make the Sharpie bleed. So, a couple of finishing touches here, and you have your watercolor Monarch butterfly. All right. Well, I hope you enjoy this project. I bet it's going to turn out great.